When we agree our order with the supplier, one thing we want to do and want to make sure everything is okay, we ask them to send us a PI. Now that is basically like, it's the invoice, okay? And we want to read through that and just make sure everything matches exactly what we want, because the supplier is going to be making the product. They're going to be manufacturing the product based on the PI. So if something's not right there, change it now, because once you sign the PI, send it back to them and pay them, that's it. The wheels are in motion, the product is in manufacture, and it's very difficult to change things after that. All right. The PI generally offers split payments. This is great for us as purchasers because it means that we don't have to pay out 100% of the order up front. Now, sometimes you do, but generally this is not the case. I'd always recommend 30% prior to completion of the order and then the balance after completion, okay? That gives it a little bit of leverage if something is wrong, and if it's very minor and they can resolve it, generally that's great. Whereas if we paid 100%, it's less likely potentially to get resolved, okay? So what we do is, in order to initiate the order, after we sign the PI, we want to make payment to the supplier. Now, we can make payment on Alibaba, and we can utilize something within Alibaba called trade assurance. This means that if something is off versus the PI, Alibaba, by all intents and purposes, should refund us the difference, all right? Now, this is really good because it gives you that peace of mind, okay? But again, it has to be as the PI. But by using this method, we do have to pay a larger fee or percentage. You know, it's kind of like that covers this insurance, okay? Personally, I really don't use this. I prefer to use a bank transfer or a bank wire, okay? Now, inside the module on bank accounts, you will notice that we actually recommend setting up a Wise account or a Revolut account or a Currencyfare account. And this is where this comes in really handy, because if we're based in the UK, for example, and we want to pay a supplier in China, the payment is going to be made in United States dollars. I've never seen it not be made in USD, okay? We have to convert our sterling to United States dollars. Wise or Revolut or Currencyfare, these are the best tools to use for that. They give you the best rates. They're extremely competitive. Do not be transferring the money straight from your bank account into USD over to the supplier. You will pay a large percentage fee, okay? So using your Wise account, I generally just set up a transfer to my supplier's account, wherever it's based, China or Hong Kong, and I send my money to Wise or to any of these platforms using either a bike transfer in the same local currency or using my Visa or credit card. The supplier is then paid basically same day or next day, and they will begin production. Do you have anything to add to that, Alex?
No, I think you've just hit the nail on the head. That's the best way to do it. Like, I would just second what Peter said. I usually use Wise just because it's the simplest platform for me to use. It's really straightforward to set an account up and actually visibly see like what your money is doing and going and moving from different accounts and countries. Because that's sometimes a bit of a confusing thing for people, is making sure obviously their money is safe and making sure they're sending it to the right place. So it's like it's fairly step by step, and it's fairly straightforward just to follow along and create an account and send money safely. So I would definitely recommend something like that. And on the whole, splitting the payment on the order, I almost would try and recommend doing that as well. Sometimes your supplier will want more of the money up front. Sometimes they'll be more lenient and say, no, it's 70-30 or 50-50, which is going to pay out more in your favor if there is any tweaks to be made or anything like that. So there shouldn't be, but it's just always good, like Peter said, to have leverage on your side.
I think it's also worth bearing in mind, likely if this is your first order, you will probably be nervous doing this, like making that first payment. I think it's normal. And I think every time you make a payment to a new supplier, you're slightly nervous, but you've done your research, you've checked out the supplier, you've checked out the product, you know, they appear trustworthy, they're trustworthy based on the reviews. And I think you just have to go ahead with it and just use your mind and your heart and just move ahead with that order. And you know, you will be okay. Okay. So yeah, that's it. Good luck, folks. Make that transfer. You got it.